All right, good afternoon and welcome to our chamber chat here this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. My name is PJ Prunty. I'm the president and CEO here at the Greater Danbury Chamber of Commerce, and I'm fortunate to be joined by the very talented and very accomplished Mr. Carl Tirella, the general manager, Connecticut Acreage Holdings. Carl, good afternoon. How are things? How's the family? How's life going in your world?
Thanks, BJ. Pleasure being here. I mean, it's going pretty crazy, as you can expect here with the adult use bill passing over the last few months here, and the Social Equity Council and the DCP putting out licensing and the lottery starting soon. In terms of my personal life, I have a 9-month at home, so she just started to crawl. So it's going pretty crazy, but loving it.
The world will never be the same, right? I love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's dive right into it. Let's talk. Tell me a little bit about the Botanist and the mission with you and the team.
Sure. So Acreage Holdings is a multi-state operator, meaning that it operates operations in more than one state. We're currently in 9 different states, and I am responsible for the state of Connecticut. The Botanist is the retail brand of Acreage Holdings, meaning that anywhere there's a dispensary or most parts for where there's a dispensary, it will be called the Botanist. We operate the Botanists in the state of Connecticut, as well as Prime Wellness of Connecticut, which will be rebranding over the next few months. The Botanist mission exists to help people understand and benefit from the positive impact that cannabis can have on people's lives. We pride ourselves on offering a warm and welcoming environment to help guide people on their journey with cannabis. And we're known for our patient care, education, and service.
Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate that. So let's talk about the location here that you guys have. Why did you relocate from Bethel to Danbury? And then I'll ask you a follow-up question after that. So yeah, let's talk about that one first.
Yeah, sure. So obviously the program itself has expanded since 2014 to now. I mean, we had a few hundred patients start in the medical program in 2014, and now we're upwards of 50 to 55,000 patients on a given month. We were in an old residential house. Our retail dispensary was about the building was 1,400 square feet. The dispensary itself was about 500 square feet. We're seeing anywhere from 2 to 3 to 400 patients a day, right? Yeah. So we really outgrew the residential house. So with that being said, we had to look to neighboring cities to really relocate our facility. We did some demographic research and geographic locational research, and that's how we landed on Danbury. We thought it would be a great community to come in, bring our business and thrive in, as well as a big portion of our existing patient base is from the area. So giving back to the community, allowing it to thrive, and obviously building for the future as adult use comes to fruition here.
Excellent. Well, you answered my follow-up question, which is, why did you guys come here originally? And you talked about the research and the economy. So I appreciate that. Sure. So let's talk about how things have been going in the Danbury operation since opening in around September, right? So we had a great grand opening.
So we opened doors September 27th, and I think our welcoming was mid-October, October 13th, right, or something like that. But I mean, it was a great refreshing for our patients and our staff. I mean, like I said, we really want to be the experts in patient care, education, and experience. And allowing us to use Mr. Rizzo's building and building a nice retail space of 2,700 square feet for the dispensary itself allows us to really put ourselves above our competition and put pride into servicing the patients moving forward in both the medical and the adult use market.
Yeah, it's quite the we were fortunate to take a tour during the grand opening. It is quite the impressive layout there. You guys did a wonderful job with the build out of that location. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
You mentioned this earlier, and I think in your opening comments about the adult use bill. Can you talk about what what the plan is for the team entering that market potentially?
Sure. So the adult use lottery and hybrid conversions actually started on February 3rd. So our first and foremost priority is to get our 3 existing medical dispensaries converted over to a hybrid model, meaning that we can co-locate both medical and adult use in the same buildings. One of the requirements with that is obviously having the municipality buy-in, right? So we're fortunate enough that our other 2 municipalities have already said okay informally, and we're getting that on paper, right? So now we're working to partner with ourselves, with Sharon and team in the city of Danbury to show them our experiences with the adult use, and hopefully get this passed in the next few months, which will allow us to convert into the hybrid model moving forward. And then furthermore, we look to the lottery for different aspects of verticals, meaning that we want to be vertically integrated from growing the plant to actually selling the plant at the dispensary. So we will be applying for cultivation in the state of Connecticut, and look to build upon our business that way.
So this next question kind of dovetails, and you mentioned a little bit about the verticals, but do you have any what are the Botanist's other plans to grow and to change potentially within the state of Connecticut?
Yeah, so it's going to be twofold. One is our first and foremost priority is trying to win cultivation either through the lottery or through Section 149, and that will allow us to be vertically integrated, meaning we'll be able to grow the plant and then sell it in our dispensary and build the brands that we know and we can do from a multi-state perspective. And then twofold, we want to really take a deep dive into the social equity platform. So we've sourced a lot of social equity applicants on the ground in the state of Connecticut to create social equity joint ventures in the retail space moving forward. So we're genuinely motivated to help communities in need, as well as giving back from a social impact perspective. So partnering with the right individuals and really building our retail footprint from that perspective is going to be a key moving forward.
Excellent. You got a lot on the plate, it sounds like, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what the typical experience would be for a customer when they're interacting with staff at the Danbury location. Can you walk us through that, what that would look like?
Sure. So right now it's obviously a medical use only, right? So that means that you have to go to a certifying doctor to get your medical card, and there's over 40 plus qualifying conditions in the state right now. Once you get certified by your doctor, you have to register with the state and receive your medical card, and that's just a background check and $100 fee and a few personal informations that you input into the website. About 1 to 2 weeks later, you should receive your medical card, right? Meaning that you're able to go purchase medical cannabis within the state of Connecticut, and hopefully at the Botanist Danbury, right? So then you come into the facility. We have pharmacists and are required to have pharmacists on staff. You would sit with our pharmacist for about an hour prior to actually purchasing your first purchase in the facility. We want to get to know you. We want to understand what you're going through. We want to help you through your journey because that will help us best give you the regimen that will best suit your needs moving forward. And we want to be there with you every step of the way. So after you have that first consult, then we will make a few recommendations. You will be able to come into the facility and purchase. And then hopefully continue to purchase with us and continue to share and become a part of our family, because we know everybody on a first name basis. We know their families on a first name basis, and that's what we really pride ourselves in.
Excellent. Appreciate that, Carl. So let's pivot a bit and get to know a little more about yourself personally. I mentioned earlier you got quite the impressive career at a fairly young age here. So can you give us kind of like a little high level overview of your career, kind of where you started and how you wound up to where you are now, if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure. So I graduated from Villanova University in 2008. So it was right through the crisis. So I didn't really know what was going on, what was happening. I was a young boy at the time, and I joined General Motors. So and General Motors actually declared for bankruptcy about a year later. So it was a very eye-opening experience. I joined their corporate finance team in their treasury office. So I matured very quickly, seeing what it was like to be in the business, right? And that was really eye-opening to me as the hardships happened within the market. But with that being said, I was able to use that as an opportunity to gain valuable and experience that probably would have happened for other people 5-10 years down the road.
Sure.
So I stayed with GM for about 6 years in their treasury office, finance, debt, all that type of stuff. They moved to Detroit. That's when I decided to stay and locally with a company called NFP, running their treasury office and helping in the FP&A department. After about 3 years, I joined another company as director of finance and called Westcon Comstore, growing and growing their finance office around the world, traveling quite a bit, being their interim CFO in the EMEA region. And then after that, they sold their North American arm. So I had to decide what I wanted to do. And I took about 4 months. Luckily enough, that severance happened in the summertime, so I was able to enjoy life a little bit. It was my first time in 10 years for more than a week off, right? So I really took a step back, and I wanted to understand what I wanted to do, right, and what I can do and leverage my expertise now moving forward. So I decided that it was going to have to have two things involved, and one of them was a smaller company where I can really make an impact right away. And then second, believing in the industry. So by chance, I got introduced to Acreage Holdings. My old colleague at NFP introduced me to the old CFO at Acreage Holdings. And I was like, I took a deeper dive into cannabis. And I realized that the power of the plant was true, right? So that's when I decided to join. I was in their corporate office. I was employee number 38. So I was doing everything from treasury to FP&A to ops to finance to whatever I could get my hands on to help the company grow, right? After about a year and a half, we started to grow a bit bigger. I wanted to pivot. So that's when I decided to raise my hand to become the operational leader in Connecticut and really get that second vision of seeing the patients on the ground, right? So I pivoted to the operations role, running 3 dispensaries now. But the biggest thing and the most rewarding thing is seeing how cannabis can actually affect the medical patients. I mean, the second week on the job, I heard from a patient that came into the door through Bethel or at Bethel that they had hope for the first time in 18 years, right? And that really hit home, right? So, I mean, like, those are the types of things that I see week in and week out. And as I continue to push forward in this industry, I want to remember those things as we move forward and make that a priority, because it really does make an impact on a lot of people's lives.
Excellent. So it's in that 4-month time frame, did you go on vacation at all? And if you did you land on your favorite vacation spot, or is there other place that you prefer?
Yeah. So that so that 4-month time frame, my wife was working. I was playing golf probably 4 days a week. So she was she was very jealous. But I mean, we were fortunate enough to travel a lot prior to the pandemic and prior to my firstborn. And my favorite vacation spot is South Africa. I mean, it's just so different. We went on a 2-week kind of different tour of both the safari from the winelands to some of the Gulf regions. And then we hit Mozambique on the way back, and it's just eye-opening, and it's so different. I would recommend, if anyone has the opportunity to take a trip like that, to do it right away.
Yeah, excellent. That sounds amazing. Let's talk about, some of the, how did you stay sane right through the pandemic? I like asking this question to many individuals that I chat with here on Chamber Chat.
Yeah. So fortunately, I my wife got pregnant during the pandemic, right? So my whole focus was helping her, obviously, through the pregnancy, and then obviously welcoming my first child into the world, right? Yeah. So she's 9 months now. I don't know if sanity is the right thing for a first child, but becoming a father is the best thing that I could have ever asked for me personally. So she's my whole life. Her name's Capri. And honestly, that's what kept me sane throughout it. We never stopped working in the cannabis industry either, because it was an essential business. So I was fortunate enough to still go into the office during the time and kind of keep my same routine, right? I know it's affected other people in different ways, but for me personally, it was less affecting from a work perspective as well.
Excellent. Well said. Last question here. Best piece of advice that you have received throughout your career that's really sort of resonated or stuck with you? over time.
Yeah, for sure. So early on in my career at the GM days, I was told to focus in on the content of the role and not the title and or money associated with the role. And that really has resonated with me throughout my career. And every single time that I've put the content and looking at what the role can give me from an experience and breadth perspective, it's really elevated both my happiness in a personal life, but also my productivity in my work. And once that happens, then everything else falls in place, right? Then you're able to elevate yourself. You're able to move forward. You're able to do the best of your ability. And then you're able to get where you want to be from a business perspective or from a position perspective or from a personal perspective, right?
Sure.
So that stays with me throughout my whole career, and really my decisions are based on happiness and content now, and everything else will move forward.
Excellent. I love it. All right, I think that was all we had for this afternoon. Anything else you wanted to sort of to mention or wrap up on or touch on that you may not have in your earlier comments?
No, I think this was very helpful for us. Obviously, we look forward to being part of the community, right?
Yeah.
We've started our, we just recently hired a marketing coordinator to really build out our structure and making sure that we can be deeply involved in all of our local communities in the state. So we look forward to partnering. If you guys need anything from us, or if you have any events moving forward that you would like us to be participate in, we're all in. So keep us in the loop. We're willing to be there, and we want to be an active member of the community moving forward.
Excellent. Well, thanks again, Carl, and congratulations to you and the team here and the successful venture here in Danbury. We're excited to work with you, and we've got a chamber chat coming up in probably 2 weeks from now. So we'll stay tuned as we bring out another chamber member. Carl, thanks again, and my best to you and your family.
Thank you. You as well. Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.